Okay, so every single trip I take as a photographer or a content creator or whatever, there's always a few of the same items that always end up in my bag. This most recent trip to Switzerland and Italy that I was just on was a little bit different. I went super risky with the actual shooting gear that I brought, and I didn't even bring a camera bag. So obviously from the beginning of this journey that I'm on, whatever, I've always done things a little bit differently than the average photographer. I don't follow all the rules. I don't know, I just kind of do things for me. And by doing so, it produces better work, and work that I'm more confident with. So I'm kind of sticking to that. So today I figured it'd be a cool opportunity to kind of look at what I took on that trip and just sort of talk about things that I keep in my camera bag whenever I'm traveling, or keep in my bag. Just sort of all the stuff that comes with me on these trips. You guys seem to like the Boy Essentials video, so let's talk about what that stuff looks like traveling. The first things first, let's start with the obvious, the camera gear. So my main body is the Canon R5 Mark II, which is this one right here. This right here is my workhorse. It's the camera that does it all. Photo, videos, content for clients, content for myself, it's all done using the R5 Mark II. But here's the thing, not every moment that I'm shooting requires a Mark II. For small moments, all the little cafe shots, you just snapping a photo of your coffee and your croissant, all the BTS stuff, for any of that kind of stuff, I'm using my iPhone. And I've also got the Canon PowerShot V1, which is amazing, and it's small and it's compact and it's easy to carry. But again, if I'm trying to streamline my carry when I'm traveling and don't want to bring all this other stuff, I'm just gonna keep my iPhone. It's in my pocket. The camera's insane, easy peasy. So now the lens, this is where I probably differ from a lot of people. I only brought one lens on this trip. My dream destination was Switzerland. This is a spot I've wanted to go my whole life. So maybe I was a little bit crazy for only bringing one lens, but it worked, did the job. So I went with the Canon RF 15 to 35 millimeter. Now that is what I'm filming on right now, but we'll show some top-down footage of it. You know what it looks like. So now the reason that I decided to go to this one was kind of versatility, but mainly because I've had such a hard time venturing away from this lens lately. I have the 24 to 105, which if you ask any other photographer, probably would have been the play for that trip, given the versatility of that lens from 25 millimeters all the way up to 105. But even when I'm using that lens, for some reason, I find myself just so trapped at 24 millimeters. I just love everything being shot wider. And with the R5 having so many megapixels, whatever it is, I can crop in if needed, make the shot look a little bit tighter. But I like having the versatility of being able to shoot at 15, and then if I want to take a portrait of someone, having 35 millimeters on that camera as well. It's also amazing for video, all the good stuff. We're not going to do a full spec review on it, but it's just become my favorite lens. It's the one I'm most confident with, the focal lengths that I love the most. So if I was to only bring one lens on a trip like that, which I did, it had to be that one. 24 to 105 is insanely incredible, but I'm not sure if you've seen the new ones before, the 24 to 105 f2.8. They are huge. The thing is like, it's like a telephoto lens, so I didn't want to be running and gunning all over Italy and Switzerland, climbing mountains, walking down the streets, and having my back broken because the huge lens I'm lugging around. It just wasn't practical enough for me. So one lens setup, and it worked. So now we'll talk about filters. So I always keep two filters on me at all times. This is number one. This is the PM VND 2 to 5 stop by Polar Pro, and it's the Peter McKinnon collab. So I always have this one, and then I also always have the Short Stash Everyday filter, which right now is on here. It's kind of giving you the bloomed out highlights. So that's essentially a mist filter. Adds the bloom to all your highlights and makes skin look a little bit smoother and whatnot. So this one literally lives on my lens, I would say 95% of the time. And the only time I swap out to the VND is if it's just way too sunny and I'm trying to shoot at like 2.8 or 1.8, you get it. So that's the filters. Now after filters, I always make sure that I have my mics on me. Obviously I am a full-time content creator as well as a photographer, so always good to have these on me if I need to shoot a quick Instagram reel or TikTok video or something like that when I'm outside my studio. I'm not an audiophile, if that's what you call it, by any means. I haven't even tried that many mics. These ones work well for me. I'm wearing it right now to record this video and wear it in all of my Instagram reels and everything. The audio sounds pretty good to me. It works. I like the little case that it comes in so you can just throw it in your bag and forget about it. So next up in the travel list, my drone. Now this one is always a bit of a debate. It's big, it takes up a lot of room in my carry, and it's sort of like a major commitment if I want to bring my drone anywhere. But for a spot like Switzerland, the Alps, Lake Como when I was in Italy, you're not going to get those same shots handheld on the ground. You need a drone. So for this trip, that came along with me. I'm using the DJI Air 2S, and I have been using this for like 4 years now. It's great. I know there's newer and better stuff, but a little bit of editing, voila, got yourself a great photo. So yeah, camera gear, my drone, all that kind of stuff is always a bit of a balance whenever I'm traveling. I want to be able to make sure that I'm not busting my back while I'm getting to all the next spots. And that just sort of gets in my head too. If I'm uncomfortable traveling and just kind of not in the right mindset because I'm worried about other stuff, I feel like the work that I'm producing while I'm there just kind of takes a hit. So obviously my priority of this trip was capturing the best content possible and chasing that one photo I was after of Hotel Belvedere. So in order to do that, I had to make sure that I was comfortable and confident enough in the gear that I had to produce solid work. So my shooting devices for this trip was literally one camera, one lens, and the drone. So next up, let's take a look at the tech essentials that was part of my travel kit for this trip. And first up, we're gonna start with the iPhone. So for this recent trip, I was using the iPhone 16 Pro Max, my old phone, because obviously as I do every year, I pre-ordered the new 17 Pro Max, but my flight to Switzerland was on the night of the 18th. The phone was delivered on the 19th, first thing in the morning. So literally just missed having my phone, and the content that I could have created on that phone out in Switzerland and Italy, I didn't want to talk about it. I was bummed. I booked this trip well before I knew that launch day was the 19th, so cut me some slack. So now I've got my old 16 Pro Max in the trade-in program box that Apple sends you, and that's going out today. But I do now have this, the 17 Pro Max in silver. And I went with the 512 gigabyte option. I find I never really need much more storage than that. I pay for iCloud and all that stuff, so all my stuff is backed up to the cloud and it's not taking up all the storage on my phone. I don't use enough apps that it's gonna start eating at my storage. So 512 works for me. So for the case, I went with the Rimowa case. Now hear me out, because I know the comments are gonna be flooded with you guys talking about consumerism's final boss. Okay. I understand this case is unbearably overpriced. It's insane. It's ridiculous, but it's an aesthetics thing for me, as it has been all along. I love good, strong aesthetics. It's the designer in me. I was a designer for 13 years, well before I ever picked up a camera. So I always just kind of really appreciated a nice design. And when your whole carry comes together and everything looks good, I have the matching wallet, I have the Rimowa luggage, I have the backpack. So just completing the kit with this is just kind of a no-brainer for me. And look at it. It's so nice, but if you are looking for something obviously a little bit cheaper, this is my other case. So this one's by Nomad. Now, I feel like I have to say this, full transparency, Nomad did send me these cases, but they sent them for me to shoot an Instagram reel on. I don't have to say anything I don't want to say in this video. These are genuinely some of the best cases of all time. Aesthetics wise, I do like the Rimowa case way more, but in terms of practicality and functionality, the Nomad modern leather case is insanely good. Now they use like this crazy Horween leather, so the smell of it, the way it patinas, all of that. And unlike my Rimowa case, this one actually has MagSafe compatibility. You can see over here, so I'm hooked up to a cord, but like it works, right? Rimowa does not. That's an L, Rimowa. Put that in the phone case, please. All right, so next up on the list, I've currently got the MacBook M4 Pro. It's the 14-inch. I'm not gonna dive too far into specs on this thing. It's sick, it's fast, no issues. This thing comes everywhere with me. It's how I manage files, do quick edits, and even prep deliverables if a client needs something while I'm away. My current Spaces agency does still have a few clients that I do a lot of design work for. So if there's ever any fires or anything like that, and I need to quickly turn out some design stuff, at least I have the Mac on me. And I never care too much about designing in a new place. Designing on my patio overlooking Lake Como, done. It's inspiring as f. Then I also have this severe OCD thing where at the end of every day, you can ask anybody who's ever been shooting with me, at the end of each travel day, sit in the hotel, the Aperol spritz, a little red wine, whatever you're feeling at the time, and I will edit photos and look back on photos through the whole day. I like to have that day's worth of shooting done before I even go to bed. I won't be able to sleep if I don't. It's just, that's me. Now, boring, but worth mentioning, SD cards. I always carry at least 2 SD cards. I mean, sometimes I have 3 or 4 living in my bag, and then a CF Express to shoot video on my R5 Mark II. But this recent trip, I brought 1 SD card because I moved things from another bag to my new camera bag, and somehow I forgot to put the other SD cards in there. So I went to Switzerland and Italy with 1 SD card. That's like gambling. You're more likely to lose. And I did. We were on the Furka Pass driving. This is like day 3 or something like that. And I've got the whole storage full message on my camera. So before shooting every new set or every new photo, I had to go through and just delete a whole bunch of photos. It was a nightmare. So I cannot stress enough, do make sure that you have more than 1, even more than 2 SD cards on you at all times. It was such a pain. So yeah. be cautious. So for cables, I have this little CDG leather pouch here, little gold zip. I kind of like it. Again, it's, you know, aesthetically pleasing. It's beautiful leather, nice gold accents. So I use this to keep all of my cables in, and just kind of like my loose stuff. I got the corded headphones to plug in on the flight, my AirPods, some toothpicks, and then whatever other cables I need. And then I keep these little cord burritos around my cables just to keep everything clean and organized. If cables are all over the place, I won't even travel. I can't work in my studio if I can even see a cable. I'm an organization freak, so I had to find something that could kind of solve the cable issue. And it's great, it works. And finally, portable battery pack. I take this thing everywhere I go. It's been in a few of my other EDC videos I've made and whatnot, but I'll link it again if you haven't seen it yet. It's just a small battery pack. It's got a USB-C port, USB port, and it charges super fast. It's super slim, it's always on. Okay, so now that all my tech stuff is out of the way, let's talk about the fun stuff. How I'm carrying this gear. We'll start with the camera bag. Disclaimer, I hate camera bags. So this ties back into like the aesthetics thing. No camera bag looks good. I mean, for camera bags, some of them can look nice, but when I'm traveling somewhere where everybody seems to have nice style and you just want to look good and you want to feel good, lugging around a big tactical military looking camera bag, I don't know, those things don't really seem to go together. So I wanted to find something that I could use every single day and travel with and make sure that it looks good. I'm picky when it comes to bags. I've never really found a backpack that I liked on. I remember as a kid, I was like a Jansport or Herschel kind of backpack guy. I liked it super simple, super plain. I didn't want any crazy, loud, obnoxious stuff. Just need a nice, clean black backpack. And that's what I found in this one. It's the Rimowa Neverstill. I'll have to double check. I think it's called the Neverstill. Now again, yes, of course, there are cheaper bags out there, way cheaper bags out there. I think this one was around 2,000 Canadian, but it's become my everyday bag. Traveling on and off planes, to and from my office, just tossing it in the car, and it's used daily, and I feel like I've already gotten my money's worth. So here's how I packed it for this trip. I went with two of these packing cube things from the PM Nomadic bag. So one had my drone in it with the controller and whatnot, and then that just kind of went right here at the bottom of the bag because it fits perfectly. And then a second one that housed my camera body and lens. I just tossed that on the top. Done. So we've also got this inside pocket for my Mac, this other little zip pocket for smaller things, which I just keep that cable organizer pouch in, plus whatever else I need while I'm traveling, and then two side pockets. So on this one here, I keep the passport and wallet, and on this other side, keys, cash, whatever. So yes, it's not a camera bag, but I was able to turn an everyday backpack into a travel / camera bag. And that's what I was looking for. I don't need multiple bags. I just want one bag that can do everything in my lifestyle, and this is that. So as for the passport cover, which I just briefly showed, I'm using this one here. So again, this is by Nomad, and they're using that same Orween leather on this thing. Comes with an Epic pen, which is like just, you get it, satisfying. Got this additional little spot here for boarding passes if you're a psycho and print them still and don't just put them in your Apple Wallet. And then got card slots. So this thing's perfect. I've been using it for the past 3 or 4 trips now, and it's great. Now the wallet, I just picked this one up a couple weeks ago, and I'm obsessed with it. If you've seen my other videos, you know I'm a wallet junkie. I've got wallets from almost every single brand. I absolutely love them. I switch through wallets once a week, I would say. But this one is the one that I have been loving the most lately. So this is the Rimowa card holder. And again, just the aesthetic thing, kind of everything matches and looks good. That makes me happy. It's got the most satisfying opening mechanism. You just kind of push right here, slide it out, and then you just back in. Obsessed. One of my favorite things in the world has to be when your entire carry comes together. So when you're rocking the phone, then you've got the wallet together. I also use the Rimowa carry-on luggage, which looks just like these. So everything all together. I love it. Now, since we talked about filters, which are sunglasses for your lenses, it only makes sense that we talk about sunglasses for your eyes. Sunglasses, the way they're meant to be described. This right here is the newest pair that I recently picked up by Jacques-Marie Mage. And let me tell you about these things. I've owned about 50 pairs of sunglasses in my time, probably more, and no pair has ever even come close to these. The quality is next level. The unboxing experience with these things is like literally nothing else I've ever owned. Absolutely 10 out of 10 in every single department. Again, they're quite expensive, but with these, you really do get what you pay for. Okay, now since we talked about sunglasses, we need to talk about what's not only going to keep your eyes safe, but keep your head safe, your hat. So this right here is my newest venture called CS Photo Club, Current Spaces Photo Club. And I, along with every other person who has purchased one so far, can agree that this is the best fitting hat ever made. I'm telling you, willing to put my life on that. I spent over a year tweaking and making sure that every single drop of this hat was perfect. Thousands of dollars in samples. I was even going back and forth with my manufacturer, like, can you adjust the brim by like 0.2 millimeters? They probably hated me, but for good reason. We got it dialed. The hat is so good. It fits incredible. And right now we've got about 6 different designs. A few of them are completely sold out, but we've also got another drop on the way at the beginning of October. I don't really have a concrete date yet, but what I like to do is each kind of drop or line of hats is inspired by some different story. So obviously happy shooting is kind of my mantra and what I say at the end of every video. And then this new drop is going to kind of revolve around a photo fall camp from the 1980s. So I try to build a little more than just putting a design on a hat. And I was honestly over wearing hats with a camera brand logo on. I wanted something built for photographers and creators alike that they could be proud to wear. It looks good and fits right, not just some generic hat. So that's the point of these. And if you want to check them out, I'm obviously going to link all of this stuff in the description below. So that's a wrap on my 2025 travel essentials. The gear that keeps me shooting, keeps me connected, just makes traveling a little bit easier. You don't really need 10 lenses, 4 camera bodies, in your mother's kitchen sink to get the job done. If you liked this video, please make sure you check out my daily essentials breakdown where I just talk about everything that lives on me every day, not just traveling. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, happy shooting.